Krishna. Okay. So you can follow me on the flute. The chords are C and G and F. Really simple chords. C, G, and F. Okay? We start with the C. It's in the key of C. Goranga bolite habe hulakasak re re Goranga bolite habe hulakasak re Ati hare bolite nayane mabenir Hare Hare Bolite Nayane Mabenir Goranga Bolite Habe Pulakashak Re Hare Hare Bolite Nayane Mabenir. The whole verse. Goranga bolite habe Pulakasak regir Ati ade bolite nayane Babinir Arakabe Nitai Chander Corona Koi Bege Samsara Bhashana Mora Kabe Tucha Oibe Arakabe Nitai Chander Corona Hai Bege Samsara Bhashana Mora Kabe Tucha Oibe Vishaya Chadeya Kabe Shurabe Manda Kabe Hamahirabo Shri Vrindavanava Vishaya Chadeya Kabe Shurabe Manda Kabe Hamahirabo Bo Sri Vrindavanava Rupa Raghunathapade Hoibeyakuti Kabehama Bhujabo Se Yugala Pute Rupa Raghunathapade Hoibeyakuti Kabehama Bhujabo Se Yugala Pirite Rupa Raghunathapade Rahomor Rasha Pratana Kore Sada Narottamo Das Ragu Nathapade Ragumorasha Pratana Kore Sada Narottamo Das Goranga bolite abe Hulaka charir Adi ade bolite nayane Babinir Goranga bolite abe Hulaka charir Ade ade bolite nayane Babenir. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nichai goer, Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Paravidakacharya, also Teta Sitashi, Shimad, His Divine Grace. ISKCON founder, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti, Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavanam ki jai, Mathuram ki jai, Jagadatasami ki jai, Yamunamai ki jai, Shrimati Lasi Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premananda. Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shivati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravati Pachari Nirvashesha Shunyavati Paschatya Dejatarni. So, I'll read the translation to this poem by Narottama Das Thakur. When will that opportune moment come to me when I shiver upon chanting the name of Lord Gauranga? When will I cry while chanting Hare Krishna? When will I receive the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda so that my desires for material enjoyment become insignificant? When will my mind be purified of material anxieties and desires so that I can understand Vrindavana? When shall I be very eager to study the books left by the six Goswamis so that I can understand the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna? The lotus feet of the six Goswamis are my only shelter. In constant separation from them, I remain Narottama Das. So, Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. So, because this is Chaitanya Week, we are going to continue with our reading of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Specifically, I have been asked to continue, even though Wednesday is not my day, and it's Ekadashi today, but I've been asked to continue reading from the Shikshashika prayers, which is the last chapter in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so we're up to text 29. So, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So, Om Ganat Tipuranda Shagananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we're up to the next verse in the Shikshashika, and in this particular chapter, of course, we find that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is basically explaining these verses in the Shikshashika in a little different way than we normally have the translations, and actually I would say in a much deeper way, and in many cases in relationship with Krishna's relationship with Srimati Radharani, or Srimati Radharani's attitude towards Krishna. So, and as we mentioned yesterday, these verses in the Shikshashika can also relate, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They can also relate to different stages in devotional service, or different times of the day of Krishna's Ashta Kaliya Leela. Ashta Kaliya Leela means the eightfold times of the day when Krishna does different things, like waking up early in the morning and running back to home so he doesn't get discovered as being missing because he's been with Radharani the whole night. Different times of the day, and pure devotees, they meditate on these different aspects of Krishna's day as they go about their own day, which is really interesting. Of course, this is something that requires a very high adhikar to be able to pursue. It's not that we, in general, unless you're actually qualified, it's not that we should be, when I wake up in the morning to go to Mangalarti, I should be thinking Krishna's waking up. And he's basically, well, actually, he doesn't wake up that early. He wakes up as sunshine. and then Krishna is being woken up by the parrots and everything like that. Then he wants to get home, and then by accident he puts on Radharani's dress, and Radharani puts on his dress. So it's not that I should be thinking like that in the morning. I should be just thinking, let me get myself to Mangalarti. Something practical. So, anyway. So these verses are just very wonderful. They're also another way that Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur equate these verses is that each verse can be connected with a pair of words in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Like we have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's 8 pairs. And so each of these particular verses can be connected to one particular pair of words in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's very esoteric, but very relishable. So we'll continue. Text 29. And this, of course, is a very difficult one to pursue in one's Krishna consciousness. Dhanam na janam na sundarim. Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmanishvare. Bhava tad bhaktir ahai tuki twaye. And the translation, of course, is a little different than you're used to. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want life after life is unmotivated devotional service to you. Of course, this is reaching the understanding of what pure devotional service is. Anyabi lashita shunyam jnana karma navritam anukulyena krishnanu shiladam. Basically, it's the same thing. I don't want anything gross or subtle. Here is your fruit of activities. Of course, that's gross. And the flowery language is subtle. Materialistic followers, profit, adoration, distinction. A beautiful wife. Someone who just pleases your senses. It's not to say that someone shouldn't have a wife. It's that one shouldn't take one's wife or whatever one has as one's property in order to enjoy one's senses. The right attitude is that one's wife, Manasa Deha Geha Yokishamor, Artliam Tuya Pari Nanda Kishore. My body, my home, my wife, everything belongs to you, O Nanda Kishore. So that's the proper attitude. So here it's explained by Lord Chaitanya further. I'll read the Sanskrit. Dana jana nahi magon kavita sundari shuddha bhakti deha more Krishna kripa kare. My dear Lord Krishna, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, a beautiful wife, or the results or fruit of activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, you give me pure devotional service to you, life after life. Similar to what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Kita janma hoy, Brahma janme nahi, Brahma, janme, I forget the rest of it. When it says, I don't even want a life as Lord Brahma if he's not a devotee. Bhati mukha Brahma janme nahi ash. I simply want to serve you life after life. Mama janmani janmane shvare bhavatad bhakti hoitaki chwaye. Next verse. Atidaine punamage dasya bhakti dhana apanare kare sangsare jiva abhimana. It's interesting, this word here, jiva abhimana. In great humility, considering himself a conditioned soul of the material world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again expressed his desire to be endowed with service to the Lord. So this word jiva abhimana. Of course, the word abhimana basically means one's personal conception, what one thinks of oneself, one's particular self-image. So in the material world, because it's the three words used here, samsari jiva abhimana, which means materialistic conception of the conditioned soul, as a conditioned soul. So instead, we should have a spiritual conception of ourselves, an image of ourselves, a conception of ourselves. So, in Lord Chaitanya, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's experiencing or thinking of himself as a conditioned soul. Next verse in the Shikshashika, Ayananda tanuja kinkaram patita mam vishame bhavam mudo kripaya tava pada pankaja stita duli sadrasamba chintaya. O my Lord, O Krishna, son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servant, but because of my own fruitive acts, I have fallen in this horrible ocean of nescience. Now please be causelessly merciful to me, consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. It actually adds a little bit of emotive aspect to the verse, to what we generally recite. It says horrible ocean. We're not used to that, but actually in the Sanskrit it says horrible ocean. Vishame means horrible. And Bhava Ambudo means like an ocean of existence, which is really interesting. Bhava, that's the word in Sanskrit, like to be. So Bhava means material existence, because in material existence, you're continually being. So anyway, so this beautiful verse. Now please be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. It'd be nice if we could use these translations. Because these are, these are really beautiful translations. Tomara nitya dasa, mui toma pasariya. Pariyojan bavaranave maya bada hana. I am your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. So here's this position of the jiva. Toma pasariya means I forgot. So what does that mean? That means we originally remembered the Lord. We are originally Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness is inherent, right? Not inherited. It's quite obvious if one just reads the Chaitanya Charitamrita, what Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, isn't it? Sajakota Noi. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Our eternal position is Krishna Prem. Sajakota Noi. It is not obtained, it is not a goal to be obtained. It is already there. Saja. Saja. Saja means the goal or, what you're trying to achieve. And then, but it's achieved, it's woken up by what? Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte. Because by hearing Shuddha Chitte, the pure consciousness can be awakened, isn't it? Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte, Koriye Udoy. And this is actually the process. So this is, so many verses actually in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and by the Acharyas corroborate this particular point. He said, I am your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. Now I have fallen in the ocean of nescience, and I've been conditioned by the external energy. So here's it's actually the process is given. I'm your eternal servant. I forgot. Then I fell in the ocean of nescience, isn't it? It's like a progression. I'm your eternal servant. I forgot your lordship. I fell into the ocean of nescience. And then once I fell into the oceans of nescience, I became what? Conditioned by the external energy. So here's our Siddhanta right there. Now, exactly what it meant that I knew you before, or I knew Krishna before, is not really specifically mentioned. And who was that? What was that quote that I just shot? Oh, yeah. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a very beautiful quote. He says, if anyone tries to understand where the soul came from, they're simply going to become bewildered and engage in argumentation and waste their time. So he advises us not to argue about it. So text 34, Kripakari karamore paraduli sama, tomara sevaka koron, tomara sevana. Be causelessly merciful to me by giving me a place with the particles of dust at your lotus feet, so that I may engage in the service of your lordship as your eternal servant. So let's see what the words use. Kripa kari means be merciful. Make particle of dust at your lotus feet. Tomara sevaka, really interesting. I am your servant. Tomara sevana, give me your service. Bengali is beautiful. Puna ati utkanta, dainya haila udgama. Krishna Tani Magi Prema Nama Sankirtan. Natural humility and eagerness then awoke in Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prayed to Krishna to be able to chant the Maha Mantra in ecstatic love. So we know what's coming next, the next verse. The prayer for bhava. This verse actually is indicative of bhava. Bhava means emotional state in Krishna consciousness, as we've been describing, and actually Mother Urmila described in quite detail the other day, the different types of bhavas. Nayanam galuda srudarya, vadanam gadgadaudriya gira, pulaka nichitam vapukada, tavanama grahane bhavishati. My dear Lord, when will my eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs of my body stand erect in transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name? What a beautiful translation. So Nayanam, eyes, Galudashradaya. So this is the hankering of a devotee. Or, as we were chanted this morning, isn't we chanted the same thing this morning before class? Goranga balite habi pulaka sharir. Right? Same thing. When will that opportune moment come to me when I shiver upon chanting the name of Lord Gauranga? When will I cry while chanting Hare Krishna? So this whole mood of hankering is manifest in this prayer by Narottama Das Thakur, and also Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his famous prayer, what is it? Kabhi Habhi Bolo Se Dinamar, Aparada Guche, Harinama Ruche. So this particular song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is in song form, it's actually the whole Shikshashtaka. If we we study this song. It says, when will this day be mine? When will I be free from aparadas or offenses? Harinama ruche, when will I have a taste? When, oh, when will that day be mine? So it's the same mood that's exhibited in this particular poem by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottama Das Thakur. And this is called Laulyam. Now, the interesting thing about Laulyam is that Laulyam for material things is the cause of deviation, according to Srila Rupa Goswami in the Upadeshamrita. But it's actually, according to Rupa Goswami, the price of pure devotional service. Laulyam means intense hankering or greed. So here is the mood of greed for Krishna consciousness, or greed for experiencing the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Nayanam galut ashradaraya. When will that day be mine? Tavanama grahane bhavishyati. Bhavishyati is future. When will it be? When I chant the holy name that I will experience this ecstasy. So again, Lord Chaitanya is taking our part, showing us how we should feel, how we should pray. Prema dana bina vyartha. Daridra jivana dasa kari vetana more deha prema dana. Without love of God, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love of God. And that's very similar to what Krishna says to the gopis, isn't it? There's no way I can repay you. The only way I can repay you is what? Your own love for me. So that's the salary, that's what we want from devotional service. Personally. Of course, other than that, we may want to bring other people to Krishna consciousness and have other desires connected with that service to Krishna. So, text 38. Rasantara veshe aela viyogas purana udvega vishada dayanye kare palapana. Separation from Krishna awoke various mellows of distress, lamentation, and humility. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a crazy man. So now we're getting into prema. So previously, the last verse was bhava, and now it's prema. Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravashaitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda vidahena me. My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void. So here, instead of 12 years or more, it's millennium. That's an interesting point. I mean, it's Prabhupada's translation, the 12 years or more. I don't know. I really don't know how at 12 years or more. Text 40. Udvege divasa nadyaya kshana aila yuga sama. Varshara mega praya ashu varisha nayana. In my agitation, a day never ends, for every moment seems like a millennium. Pouring incessant tears, my eyes are like clouds in the rainy season. So the gopis, for example, they're feeling upset because of the blinking in their eyes. They have so much love for Krishna. And therefore they curse Lord Brahma because he's created bodies where they have eyes that blink, and they're envious of fish because the fish don't have blinking eyes. Their eyes are always open. We wish we had eyes like fish so we could always see Krishna. So that's love. Wow. Govinda virahe shunya haila tribhuvana tushana le padeyina nayaya jivana. The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. I feel as if I were burning alive in a slow fire. Krishna udasana aila karite parikshana Saki Sabakaye Krishna Kara Upekshana. Lord Krishna has become indifferent to me just to test my love. And my friends say, better to disregard him. Shh. This is, of course, exactly Srimati Radharani's mood. Eteka chintite Radharani marla udaya. Subhavika premaras vabhava karila udaya. Well, Srimati Radharani was thinking, in this way, the characteristics of natural love became manifest because of her pure heart. Irsha, utkanta, dainya, prodhi vinaya, eta bhava eka tani karila udaya. The ecstatic symptoms of envy, great eagerness, humility, zeal, and supplication all became manifest at once. So, some of these symptoms, you hear about some of these symptoms, they actually conflict with each other. Envy, humility, zeal, of course, zeal, eagerness, and supplication. They're actually conflicting feelings. So that it's like being in an ocean where you have these waves coming at you from all different sides, isn't it? And you're just like being tossed. That's pure devotional service. Of course, that's the mood of Srimati Radharani. And that's what we hanker for too, that particular situation where we're being tossed in the waves of devotional service, all these conflicting vyabhachari bhavas, and it's all based on love. It's nothing selfish about it. Eta bhave radharamana astira haila saki gana age praudi shloka ye padila. In that mood, the mind of Srimati Radharani was agitated, and therefore she spoke a verse of advanced devotion to her gopi friends. Se bhave Prabhu, say shloka ucharila, shloka ucharite tadrupa apane haila. In the same spirit of ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited that verse, and as soon as he did so, he felt like Srimati Radharani. So imagine the scenario. He's reciting this verse to Ramananda Roy and Sarup Damodar Goswami. So you should picture in your mind, as these verses are being recited, these three personalities, Lalita and Vishaka in male form, and Radharani in male form, or Krishna actually in the mood of Radharani, and just sitting there in the Gambhira. The Gambhira was with the place that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in, and it's a very small, narrow room. You've seen the Gambhira? And it's just, stone walls and everything like that. It's just an enclosed space, and it would be rather dark in there. So picture that in your mind, that these three personalities are sitting there, and Lord Chaitanya is just manifesting these symptoms of ecstasy. And these devotees, at the same time, they're hearing them. Sort of projecting myself into that, not myself, but projecting the vision. They're actually crying in ecstasy. All of them are experiencing these emotions together. And sometimes they're embracing each other, because these are Vaishnavas. Of course, pure devotees, gopis. And they actually have the highest love for each other. And they're remembering these pastimes in Vrindavan, how they would experience these symptoms. And now they're in male bodies. Think about it. It's actually amazing. So next verse, okay. Ashlishava pada ratam banashnuma madarshana marmatam karotava yatatata vabadadat lampato matprananatas tu sevanapara. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at his lotus feet. Let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee after all, and he can do whatever he likes. But he is still no one other than the worshipful Lord of my heart. Now, just referring back to one of the previous verses, let me go back to the previous verse, that anyway, whatever, I can't find it right now, but her friends were advising her to forget Krishna. And so this is actually in response, in one sense, this particular verse, is in response to her friends' entreaties to forget Krishna. Because she's addressing her friends. So her friends are saying, you forget this guy. He's a debauchee. You could never trust him. He's hanging out with all these other girls. You know, what are you doing? You know, you're better than this. And she's saying, in response, let Krishna kindly embrace the maidservant. He can do anything he wants, who has fallen at his lotus feet. Let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee. The debauchee has been just like, it's worse than unchaste. It's just like he hangs out with everybody. You can't trust the guy. I mean, just the word debauchee. He's degraded. Isn't it? If you unpack that word debauchee, we can find the Sanskrit of that. Lampata, yeah, sorry. Lampata basically means debauchee. You know, so it's such a heavy word. It's like, it's worse than being a bum. He's a debauchee. After all, and he can do whatever he likes, but he's still no one other than the worshipful Lord of my heart. Wow. Ami Krishna Paradasi Tenho Rasa Sukha Rashi. Alingya Kare Atma Sata Kiba Nadeya Darashana Jarina Mora Tanuman Tabu Tenho Mora Prana Nata. I am a maidservant at the lotus feet of Krishna. He is the embodiment of transcendental happiness and mellows. If he likes, he can tightly embrace me and make me feel oneness with him, or by not giving me his audience, he may corrode my mind and body. In other words, disintegrate, corrode. You know, just fall apart. Nevertheless, it is he who is the Lord of my life. Saki he shunamora, manera nishchaya, kiba anuraga kare, kiba dukkha dhyamare, mora praneshvara Krishna, anya naya. My dear friend, just hear the decision of my mind. Krishna is the Lord of my life in all conditions, whether he shows me affection or kills me by giving me unhappiness. Here's another verse. Charyanya narigana mora vasha tanu mana mora sovagya aprakata kariya tasabhare deya pida ama sane kare krida se nari gane dehana. Sometimes Krishna gives up the company of other gopis and becomes controlled mind and body by me. Thus he manifests my good fortune and gives others distress by performing his loving affairs with me. Kibateno lampatak shata drishta sakapata anyanari gana kari sata more dite mana pida mora age kare krida tabu teno mora prananath. Or since, after all, he is a very cunning, obstinate debauchee, with a propensity to cheat. Yeah, it's really interesting. Sakapata, he's an obstinate, well, listen to this. You have the word lampata again in the Sanskrit, and then you have shata, deceitful, drishta, obstinate, sakapata, cheating propensity, he takes to the company of other women. He then indulges in loving affairs with them in front of me to give distress to my mind. Nevertheless, he is still the Lord of my life. These are Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's innermost feelings, thoughts, emotions. Nagani apana dukkha sabi vanchi tanra sukha. Tanra sukha amara tatparya. More yari diya dukkha tanra haila mana maha sukha. Se dukkha mora sukha varya. I mean, the amazing thing is that all these verses, they're rhyming and they have this rhythm to them. And he's written this tremendous work, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes that are all like beautiful, poetic verses. I mean, isn't it? How many verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita? I mean, it's just amazing. I do not mind my personal distress. I mean, he's definitely directly in touch with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, the question was raised, how did he come out with all those? The other day it was, she was talking about how he came up with all the different verses and everything like that, and he didn't have the database and everything like that. But I was thinking the other devotees were around him, and he was asking them for references, and he was repeating a lot of the things, well, all these things here. This information is actually coming from what he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, who resided right next to him. And Raghunath Das Goswami was a great scholar, and also there were other devotees. When Raghunath Das Goswami would recite his memories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were many devotees around at the same time listening to this. So they also had all these verses. And he was taking, I'm just picturing in my mind, he was taking notes as he was hearing these pastimes from Raghunath Das Goswami. I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna, for his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, then that distress is the best of my happiness. And here is an amazing purport here. Srila Bhakti, so you notice that Prabhupada doesn't comment that much on the verses here. But this purport is actually a comment on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a devotee does not care about his own happiness and distress. He is simply interested in seeing that Krishna is happy, and for that purpose he engages in various activities. A pure devotee has no way of sensing happiness, this is a heavy statement, except by seeing that Krishna is happy in every respect. If Krishna becomes happy by giving him distress, such a devotee accepts that unhappiness as the greatest of all happiness. Those who are materialistic, however, who are very proud of material wealth and have no spiritual knowledge, like the Prakriti Sahajas, regard their own happiness as the aim of life. Some of them aspire to enjoy themselves by sharing the happiness of Krishna. This is the mentality of fruit of workers who want to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Very heavy. This purport is something to meditate on. Simply interested in seeing Krishna happiness. And if Krishna, just like Krishna with the gopis, he gets happiness by teasing them and basically making them cry. And they're thinking, this is our great happiness. If this gives Krishna happiness by making us cry and making us miserable, then that's our happiness. Ye nari re vanchi Krishna, tara rupe sat Krishna, tari na panahaya duki, mui tara paya pari, lana yana hate tari, krida karana tanre koron suki. If Krishna, attracted by the beauty of some other woman, wants to enjoy with her, but is unhappy because he cannot get her, I fall down at her feet, catch her hand, and bring her to Krishna to engage her for his happiness. Kanta Krishna Karirosha, Krishna Paya Santosha, Sukha Paya Tadana, Bartzanet. Okay. It's getting too advanced for me. I mean, it's amazing how he was able to write this at like 90 years of age.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Aravindanalayatakam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam. Namago Vishnu Padaya Snapistaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedantaga Samenitinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurvani Vacha Nege Nivesesha Sunyavane Machachagade Zacharande Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Katata Shiva Sati Gorata Vrindanaya Sri Krishna Dana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaurata Vrinda That's Hare Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna